This is Rob Talbot for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Joined here today in sunny Las Vegas by the Haymaker, David Haye. It is Tyson Fury Wallin fight week. How you doing, David?
Very well, thanks. All is well. I'm feeling good. Looking forward to the big one on Saturday night.
Second time in Vegas in the last 3 months. You like it round here, don't you?
I do. I was here for the Tom Schwartz spectacle, and that was great. I loved the way Tyson Fury came to the ring. I loved the whole showmanship. I like the whole environment. I like the fact that he went out there and wanted to impress the American fans and put on a show. And that's exactly what he did. I feel he's going to want to try to top that this time round. You know, he's got a big, awkward southpaw as an opponent. We don't really know too much about Wallin, other than he's a big guy with an undefeated record. I've sort of scrutinised his record a little bit, and there's no real names to compare him to with Tyson Fury. But that's not to say he's not the real deal. He could be the next big thing. We just don't know that. Nobody knows. And he's got a good coach. He's got a good coach, a former world champion. So he's got a solid corner. But is he going to be able to deal with the Rubik's Cube that is Tyson Fury? I just can't see him.
Second fight in 3 months for Tyson. He obviously had his well-publicised layoff before he came back and boxed those 2 fights before Wilder, then had 6 months off again. Yep. How important is it and how vital is it to a fighter to be active, particularly with such a big fight in Wilder around the corner?
I think that the time he had off, I think is imperative for him to fight as regular as possible. You know, I think it's great the fact that his team was able to get this this Mexican Independence Day date. He was scheduled to fight for October, but when he heard that Canelo Alvarez wasn't fighting on this date, he decided to jump at it. And between Bob Arum and Frank Warren, I think they got things covered in terms of getting the fight together on short notice, which they've done. And I'm looking forward to seeing how Tyson Fury impresses the American and Mexican fans here in Las Vegas.
How good is Tyson Fury? I mean, you were slated to fight him twice, so I'm sure you had a very keen eye on him then. We've obviously seen him in the ring in the last couple of years. How good is he? How highly do you rate him?
He's a hell of a lot better now than he was when I was due to fight him, I tell you that. He's learned so much over the years, and every time I've seen him fight, he seems to do something a little different. He seems to get hit with fewer shots. He's able to use his long arms and his reach and his physical athleticism way more as he's getting older. And that's definitely something and a sign of a fighter that's going places. He doesn't hold a world title belt currently, but in terms of Andy Ruiz Jr. and Deontay Wilder, many people felt, even after those sort of comeback warm-up fights, which were no more than sort of glorified spars, he was able to push Deontay Wilder to the limit in a fight where he got a controversial draw. I think that fight right there shows his capabilities, that the fact that he could be out of the ring abusing his body in some horrific ways, he's able to come back, do some training, still pretty much out of shape, go through 2 warm-up fights and jump in the ring against arguably one of the biggest knockout specialists ever in the heavyweight division and get a draw. Get knocked down heavy, but he still got a draw. I think these 2 fights, these 2 comeback fights, the one with Tom Schwartz and here with Wallin, I think if he can get another good victory, that'll just give him more of a chance in their rematch with Deontay Wilder. I think that just increases his chances of winning the fight.
Best heavyweight in the world currently, in your opinion?
I don't know. No, there's only one way to say, and one way to say is to have them all fight each other. I think once we find out who is the man out of Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, people keep saying, people keep only looking at it from one point of view. They keep saying Tyson Fury is having these warm-up fights and he's going to get better. The same could be said for Deontay Wilder also. He's having these fights. He fought Dominic Brazil and took him out like he was nothing. He's having a rematch with the only guy to really put it on him, the tricky southpaw, Louis Ortiz. If that fight happens in November and if he's able to win that fight a lot more conclusively, I think that's him proving he's risen to the challenge, and he's only going to be better for that rematch. I definitely feel of the 2 of them, Tyson Fury knew he was up against it. He had them butterflies in his stomach. He knew he was going in against someone who's a WBC champion who's knocked out every man he's ever faced. And Deontay Wilder went into the ring against someone who he knows was a good fighter, but has let himself go horrifically and hasn't fought anyone since he fought Vladimir Klitschko, many years ago. So he felt he was going to get an easy night's work, and it didn't work out that way. So I think both fighters are going to have way more in their rematch. It's just who's going to have the more, who's going to be able to have the best game plan, who's going to be able to implement it. I think it's intriguing, but of the two, I genuinely don't know. I'll have to see how their next fights both play out. How Tyson Fury does against Fury-Wallin and how Deontay Wilder does against Louis Ortiz. It's easy to say now, but if Fury gets knocked down 5 times in the fight and struggles on points and wins a controversial split decision, maybe I'll say Deontay Wilder's going to win. And vice versa. If Wilder gets knocked down 3 or 4 times and just scrapes through, I'm going to say, definitely Fury. So depending on their next fights, I can then give a more sort of educated answer on who I believe is the number one.
But it's out of those two, not the winner of Joshua Ruiz too.
It depends how that goes. If I think the fact that both of those fighters, Andy Ruiz Jr. and Anthony Joshua, both have a loss on their record. On paper, you have to go with the undefeated fighters. Joseph Parker beat Andy Ruiz Jr. and Andy Ruiz Jr. beat Anthony Joshua. If Andy Ruiz Jr. is able to get the victory again, you'd have to chuck him into he's a close second for sure. But because he has that loss with Parker, maybe not. If Tyson Fury is able to beat, say, Deontay Wilder, I'd be hard pushed to say that Andy Ruiz Jr. Just look at them both next to each other. He's so much smaller. Got such short arms compared to him. I'd find it hard to see how Andy Ruiz Jr. could beat Deontay Wilder or a Tyson Fury. So I definitely think it's out of those two at the moment. But if AJ comes out and blasts out Andy Ruiz Jr. in a couple of rounds, makes him look like nothing, okay, now we've got 3 in the mix. 3 guys who we can say, okay, he had a bad night at the office against in Madison Square Gardens. He just walked onto one shot and wasn't able to regroup. So, that's the thing about the heavyweight division now. It's really exciting. So many different things are happening. And everyone's got an opinion on who they think is the best. And that's the best time in boxing. When everyone has an opinion, but no one really knows. Everyone thinks they knew. Lots of people thought they knew that Anthony Joshua was the best before he fought Andrews Jr. A lot of people changed their opinions after that. And people might be changing their opinions after Saturday night, after the Wallin fight. They may say, yes, if Tyson Fury goes out there and looks $1 million, they may say he's number one. If he goes out there and looks terrible, maybe he's 2 or 3. So that's the good thing about the heavyweight division. There's so many fights happening so regularly that we can make educated decisions.
Not spoken to you since the announcement of the rematch out in Saudi. Are you surprised by that? Are you surprised they didn't try and bring the fight over to the UK?
No, not really. I think it's a good thing that boxing takes place in many different parts of the world. Saudi Arabia isn't known for somewhere that holds massive boxing matches. Well, they are now, and I've heard about big fights going down in the Middle East in the past. A lot of talk of Abu Dhabi and Dubai. But this is the first one to actually get it over the line. So I'm interested to see how it goes down. I really am, because I don't know I don't know anything really about how the country's structured in terms of the sporting output, the visa situation. I heard that they're trying to distribute it out. So I'm interested, just like everybody else, to see how it goes down. But the fact that it's happening over there leads me to believe that Anthony Joshua is supremely confident of winning this rematch. He doesn't need the hometown advantage in his mind. Anthony Joshua's made enough money. He's not going to lessen his chances of winning by going for money. He's made his money. He just wants the glory now. He just wants to, if he wants to, show the Middle East what he's about, he can go and do what he wants to do. And it's going to be a tough fight, but it's a fight that I truly think, if tactically he gets it right, he can win it and win it in good style.
Talking about 2 big heavyweight rematches, you yourself were involved in a heavyweight rematch. How is it different preparing for a fight the second time around? You know what to expect. You know what your opponent brings to the table. You know how hard it can be, and you've tasted the guy's leather. You felt what it's like in the clinches. You know how your opponent responds to punches that are landed.
You know, you both know. You've both been there before and done it. Going into a rematch that you've lost prior to it, you feel confident if you feel you know why you lost the first one. I was supremely confident going into the second fight with Tony Bellew because I thought I knew exactly why I lost the fight. But what happened in that second fight proved to me that maybe that's not the case. So I'm hoping Anthony Joshua knows why things went wrong in New York, and whatever those issues are, he puts them to bed and he goes out there and puts a boxing masterclass on and goes out there and outboxes Andy Ruiz Jr. If I was him, I'd keep it simple, I'd keep it long range, I'd focus on the jab, keep it long, keep the little guy at arm's bay and arm's length, and if the guy does come in, don't stand there throwing inside punches with a guy who only solely depends on inside punching. Tie him up, lean on him, use your superior size and athleticism to get out of the corners, away from the ropes, and just keep it a long range boxing match. It might not be the most exciting and entertaining style, but it's a winning formula, it's a winning style, and it's a winning style that has led many great heavyweights over the years, Lennox Lewis, Larry Holmes. You know, the fact that you can use that piston jab to just completely offset the smaller man is what Anthony Joshua, I believe, needs to focus on. Watch Thomas Hearns, watch Lennox Lewis, watch Larry Holmes, as I said, you know, the Eastern Assassin. You know, that's what he needs to be doing in this fight. You know, he doesn't need to be trading with someone small. It's not the way to it. He's not that type of fighter. You know, Evander Holyfield, he could do that because his style was take and dish it out. Take 3, throw 3, take 2, throw 2. That's not Anthony's style. He's a classy boxer, Olympic gold medalist who can use his physical tools to win the fight comfortably, or as comfortable as possible, on points.
Travelled to Vegas on Monday, got off the flight, I actually changed in Philadelphia, turned my phone on and saw Derek Chisora everywhere all over my social media. Trending, along with Vaseline, but we'll put that to one side. Talk to me about that press conference.
Yeah, Derek felt a little shortchanged. He felt, you know, as I said, myself and Eddie Hearn agreed that it would be the co-main event. He didn't like the fight poster to start off with because he felt his head was a lot smaller than the two champions, the two Josh Taylor. So I knew that raised a few eyebrows, but I thought, okay, you know, bigger things to fry. You know, he's worried about training, and then when he was on main stage and he asked the question, you know, who's the main event? And then Eddie said, it's the man to your left. And I was like, That's not what the deal was. And Derek kicked off big time. He really wasn't impressed by hearing that. As I've said to him, your co-main event, as that was agreed, and to then be told he wasn't, you know, maybe it was a slip of the tongue by Eddie. Maybe, you know, the poster suggests that maybe Derek was on the undercard, but I thought that was, you know, it didn't really bother me at the time. It was only a poster. We can make new posters. But when he was told up there that he was on the undercard, he really took it badly. Derek, you know, he likes it as he likes it, and if he feels he's being shortchanged in any way, shape, or form, he'll let everybody know. So he made sure he let everybody know, saying that he felt like, you know, at least give him some Vaseline or some crude quote that seemed to start trending. But as I've said in a few interviews that if there is any question marks of who is the main event and even what fight should go on last on October 26th, you should let the fans decide. Let Sky Sports do a poll and let the paying public, the people who are going to buy the fight, surely they're the people who need to decide. You know, if they go out to 10 p.m. that night in the pub and want to get home and watch a fight, which fight would they rather see? If you can only pick one, which one is it going to be? Is it going to be the unification fight, the finals of the Super Series, the Muhammad Ali Trophy, or is it going to be a good old-fashioned heavyweight ding-dong where they know they're going to see some heavyweight action? I'll say leave it to the fans.
Do you think he was disrespectful to Josh Taylor and Regis Prograis?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%. But Derek Chisora is a disrespectful guy from time to time. He hasn't made his career on being respectful to people. He says it how it is. He says it how he feels, and as I said, he shoots from the hip. He shoots through the holster. Sometimes he doesn't. He pulls no punches. But that's why people love Derek Chisora, because he says and does things that people don't even think about, and that's why formerly known as Del Boy. He's war. He wants to go to war, and he wanted to go to war up there on stage. I could feel the energy. I could see his leg twitching under the table. I'm like, he's going to kick off. And when the champion when he piped up, I was like, oh, don't do it. I was thinking, okay, I could stop him. I'm still got a little something left. I was looking at him thinking, I could have stopped him, I think, but it would have been hard work. But I'm glad that he kind of simmered down. But at one stage, when they both going back and forth, I'm like, you guys aren't fighting each other. It's not about you guys, But when Derek goes, he goes. But he's in the right zone. He's in that war zone. A lot of time he clicks in a couple of weeks before the fight. This time he's in shape. Look at him. He's in great shape. He's in the gym. He sparred that day, so adrenaline was still flowing, still pumping. He was jet lagged because he'd been out in LA training for 10 days. So he missed some sleep, goes to a press conference and told you on the undercard when he expected you to be at least co-main event. I understand why it bubbled over, but he's back training hard, and he's used that aggression in the gym, and he's looking strong, he's looking fast, and he's looking to do some damage to Joseph Parker.
Well, it's refreshing to know that you were there to.
I think I can stop it. I'm looking. He's looking wider and wider, and I'm looking skinnier and skinnier. And I'm thinking, it might be pretty hard to stop him. But Derek pushed it to the line, and then just simmered back down, and he then walked off stage. So
as long as you leave the tripods alone, David,
we're okay. Tripods wielded. It's all healthy stuff.
You're talking about trainers. He's obviously split with Dave Caldwell now. Where does he stand with a trainer? He had that long, extensive relationship with Don Charles. It looked like things were going very well with Dave. Where do we stand at the minute?
We stand. He's in the gym training every day. He's working with a couple of people at the moment. He's ticking all the boxes. He's doing everything he needs to do. I think we'll make an announcement in the next couple of weeks exactly who is going to be the head coach in his corner. But at the moment, he's doing some good stuff, and I'm not normally. You'd be a bit worried if what's happening behind closed doors, but trust me, he's doing everything humanly possible to be in the very best physical condition and technically bring his very best A game to Joseph Parker on the 26th of October. Sky pay-per-view. This is going to be worth every penny, because Derek knows this is last chance saloon for him. He knows he's never going to get another opportunity like this. If he can beat Joseph Parker by points, by knockout, he's then in the top. He's the number one contender to fight for these big, lucrative world title fights. It's the only belt he's never won is the world title belt. It's a European, intercontinental, international. He's won every belt, European, British. He's won all the belts. He just wants the world title belt, and this is his road to do it. And if he can do it in good style, it will just make it that much quicker to get that big world title shot.
Okay, well, David Haye, always a pleasure catching up with you, especially in sunny Las Vegas.
It is.
Look forward to catching up with you soon. Enjoy the fight on Saturday night.
I will do. Thank you a lot.